Hello and welcome to the Great Gear Off. I'm Corey, this is Dave, and this is Andy, and today we are answering the age-old question, does all of this gear matter? And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't. The only thing that matters is me. I'm the photographer, I got the eye, I'm gonna frame it up, and I'm gonna do it right. I don't care what you give me, I can do it well.
Oh, well, if you don't have a camera, you can't really frame up anything, right? So you have to have some gear, right?
Yes, some gear is necessary.
I don't think it's all that necessary, but I own a ton of it. Andy owns way too much of it, and I don't want to judge Dave, but we all have problems here at this table.
So behind us, there's this clutter. This is my house. Those are my kids' clutter. And just like them, I have a bunch of clutter as well. This is a small portion of my ridiculously big lens collection that I hardly ever use, so partly that's why we're here, to test all this stuff out.
Today the competition is the Nifty-Fifty challenge. Everybody has a Nifty-Fifty, everybody loves it, and we're gonna see what kind of Nifty-Fifty is best. Do you want the high end? Do you want the autofocus? Do you want the classics? Which one is gonna be the best Nifty-Fifty?
Mine.
No.
Yeah, probably. No.
Mine.
Well, we shall see.
My Nifty-Fifty collection started with this Pentax K, which I love, but we're not gonna be using that one today. My big thing with lenses is softness and texture and character. I'm not in favor of a super clean lens. I prefer something a little bit more look to it. So the lens that I'm going with today is the Sony SEL 50mm 1.8 OSS Silver Edition, and I have a piece of paper in here that's creating an oval anamorphic bokeh. Plus, I have the SLR Magic 133 Compact 40 anamorphic adapter on the front of this bad boy.
You can't, no.
We didn't talk about all that stuff.
No, we're just using 50s.
Guys, this is the perfect lens. We want to see the perfect lens happening on screen.
No,
we
that's
gotta
not
give.
fair.
They're gonna want it.
Well,
they don't want the bland.
It's gonna win for the longest name, but best lens, I don't know. So
longest lens. If
I
size
think
matters.
this was my first 50. It's just a Nikon 50mm 1.8 AIS lens. It's tiny. Like that's all it is.
Pancake.
Yeah.
It's a great lens though. I got some Minoltas here. They got fungus in them though. I'm not like Corey. I don't like shooting through fungus or scratches or anything.
Don't bring your fungusy lenses out here.
What I'm gonna use is a new oldie. Like it's partly they took an old design and they made it modern.
They messed it up.
It's also, I think, the most expensive lens on this table.
By far.
Maybe.
Yeah.
At $5.99.
Yes, it is.
It's the Voigtlander Nocton 58 1.4. And it's 58. It's a 50-ish. It's Nifty-Fifty-ish, right?
No.
I mean...
Well, if you get to use all that adapter stuff, then
He
this
doesn't.
is the one I'm going to use.
He doesn't. No, he's taking that off. Well, let's see. My first 50 was a 51 point... Nope, that's not it. 51.8 Olympus OM lens that came with an Olympus film camera. And then one of my favorite lenses is a little Pentax 110 50mm plastic lens. I mean, there's glass inside of it. Great little lens. It just barely covers the APS-C sensor on my Sony.
You're going to use that, right?
No. This lens, though, is a Super Takamar 50 1.4 screw mount M42 lens built somewhere. It's about as old as I am. It's built between like in the late 60s, early 70s. So this is like a 50-year-old lens, we'll say, roughly. Radioactive element in it. So
What?
So yeah, so don't use it as an eye, like a loop. That's very bad. Very bad. Like it looks like a cinema lens.
Yeah, talk about cinema lenses right here. This is it.
You're gonna take that off, right?
I'll take it off.
Okay.
All right. I think we have ourselves a competition.
Let's see who wins.
Straighten up your head. You're like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's uncomfortable.
It is.
2, 3.
My name's Sophia Tinsley, and I'm an actress based in Austin, Texas.
What's with all the filters on
Man, look at all these. You're stepping up to nothing. It's just stepping out.
Are you trying to make up for the lens?
Yeah. Cinema lens. Super Takamar Cinema. This isn't a 50.
It's a 58. It's 50-ish.
Jeez. I have to admit,
Is it working?
Oh yeah.
it's buttery.
It feels good. Just turn that for a second. That feels
Smooth.
smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smooth, right? What is it like to see these weirdos with all these cameras?
I think they seem a little confused.
I'm not too worried about focusing.
Do you have the aperture set right? Is this adapter
1.4.
working? But
It's working good enough. What's this button?
This controls.
Told you they seem confused.
All right, that's enough with this thing.
Let me.
I'm gonna check focus again. Oh, it's great. This is so much easier. Oh man, that looks good. Oh, jeez. I don't know. It's gonna be tough to beat. Sophia, do you have any dream roles? If you were like, oh man, I wish I could have been that character in that movie.
Daenerys Targaryen with Game of Thrones.
She's the dragon lady, isn't she?
The dragon lady, she is mother of dragons.
Yeah, she's the dragon.
Breaker of
Breaker of
chains.
chains.
I definitely liked her character a lot. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, now irrelevant.
What was it like working with these three dudes?
They're all very talented individuals.
Are you trying to rack focus?
You might, baby. Action. Yeah, we're gonna do that one more time.
You ready for a real lens? It's not, there's no tracking. There's no box still.
Why don't you do it the old-fashioned way?
That's not the point of the autofocus lens, Andy.
And everyone knows exactly what they're doing.
My camera works. It's his camera that's not working.
It's the same camera. I don't own any Sony lenses, so I've never had to set my camera up with a Sony autofocus, face detection, you know, all the stuff that amateurs use when making videos.
You talking about me?
Oh, what? Look at that. I think it's better than that.
I think today was a waste of time. We could have made a short film while we were out here.
Oh, that's true.
We're just monkeying around with the glass.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of cameras today. You've seen a lot of lenses. Which one's the best? Just tell it to me straight.
Everyone is equally wonderful. I know nothing about lenses, but that one's pretty, so I can see myself in the reflection.
Hey guys, we're back in our studio. We've been out shooting.
All day.
Yeah, it's a long shoot. We're approaching 12 hours now. So a little bit of the competition overview of what we did. So we shot charts. We went and shot some still photos, and then we also went and shot video outside to just give just different, uses of these lenses, just to see how things went. We tested for sharpness, ease of use. We also did bokeh, look, contrast.
But this is just our opinion.
Yeah, nothing's real scientific about this, other than the charts.
We did do charts.
The charts are pretty scientific, but I think you're going to be able to see some really interesting things with the results that we have.
The first thing we started with was the charts. The Takamar and the Voigtlander wide open were, somewhat soft. They weren't like super sharp. The Sony was pretty sharp, just right out the box. When you stopped on the Sony, it got a little bit sharper kind of overall, but not like a big jump from wide open. But as soon as you stop down the Takamar, it's nice and sharp. And then when you stopped down the Voigtlander, it was like super sharp.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was great. It's like, it was such a huge jump for that. And so it's something we thought would carry along with the stills, but was that the case?
So, so we did stills. We did 2 different portrait setups. And again, like all the lenses performed well. The Sony had a little bit of advantage with the autofocus. But as far as sharpness or just, the feel of the images, they all performed well wide open. and just like from the charts, they sharpened up when you stop them down. Now, the Sony was sharp to start with. The softness you get wide open with the Voigtlander and the Takumar for portraits is not a bad thing. A lot of times, it really is a pleasing look for portrait photography.
It seemed like the Voigtlander was way ahead in the sharpness in the charts, but when you got to the actual image, like it wasn't that far apart. Like once they stopped down,
It felt much closer.
yeah, it felt
definitely.
a lot closer.
Yeah, and then we moved on at an outside with video.
And we shot again on the A6500 at 24p. And my big takeaway was the autofocus on my lens just wasn't as big of an advantage in the video as I thought it would be. Ease of use and look are the big important things to me. And the autofocus really didn't save a whole lot of time, actually. It wasn't, especially in these more set up cinematic frames and compositions that we had, it was almost easier to use the manual focus lenses, actually. We had a lot of problems getting the camera set up correctly just because, Sony menus are a real pain, and that sort of thing. So, and I hate to admit this, but Andy has this phrase that he always says, this lens just has something extra. It's just a little something extra. And for me, it's always, it's a placebo effect. You're paying extra. That's the extra thing that you're getting. But there was just something about this Voigtlander. It caught the light well. It rendered the textures really well. It felt really special in a nice way. And although the look of the Takumar was incredible, it looked great, the ease of use of the Sony wasn't as great of a thing as I thought it would be. This Voigtlander really showed off in that video section, I thought. So,
I mean, dare I say, micro contrast?
it doesn't exist. I don't believe in micro contrast, but if you want to argue for that, that's fine.
The Voigtlander has amazing micro contrast.
I don't think that's what I think. Honestly, I think we got a little bit lucky with some of the light. I think the clouds, some of the reflections off the sky. In my opinion, the light is always more important than the lens, and I think the lighting was just there for the Voigtlander.
We did have nice light.
And that extra 8mm goes a long way, folks. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget that's a 58, and these are 50s, and this is a Nifty-50 competition.
Yeah, and they're not apples to apples.
Not
50-ish
apples.
competition.
No. Yeah.
I mean, I have to agree that the Voigtlander for me, I don't know if it's biased, maybe placebo, but like for me, it just had that little something. There was one setup where Sophia was walking towards us, and it was a rack focus. It was easy to use because of the extra focus throw on it, and the manual focus. And then it almost made it look like, we weren't shooting it on just an A6500, which has a good image to start, but it's not, a top of the line camera. But it felt like maybe this was shot on top of the line camera whenever the Voigtlander lens was on it. So, for me, I definitely liked the way the Voigtlander looked.
I really enjoyed the Takumar a lot because I've never heard of this radioactive lens thing. So it was just a lot of fun to see.
How is it that you've never heard of that?
I don't.
Everybody knows.
And you can see it in the footage. You can see like the kind of
You can see the radioactivity.
I mean, this kind of just has like a tinge to it that like you can correct out, but you can also leave it in if you want that look.
It's fascinating. The look of it is really, really interesting. Whereas the Voigtlander feels more like a cinema lens. It looks like more like a, Canon or Zeiss, compact prime sort of feel to me. And the Sony just looks like a modern lens, like you were saying. So my winner for this competition is definitely going to be the Voigtlander. I have a really hard time saying that because if I was going to recommend one to buy, I would still recommend buying the Sony. If you have a Sony camera, buy this lens. This is an awesome lens. If you are starting out in video photography, buy the Super Takumar. This is an amazing lens. But if you're somebody like us who shoots a lot, wants a high quality piece of glass that's going to look incredible, it's going to be hard to say no to that Voigtlander. I don't know. It's great. So.
Yeah, I have to agree. For the price, I think that the You're just basking. Basking. I think for the price, the Takamar was close. So close.
So close.
And for a 50-year-old lens going up against these two modern lenses, I was happy how well it did. But the Voigtlander won overall, for sure.
I think having an emotional attachment to your gear is very important. I think that's why we're here, you know, is because we love this gear and we wanted to show it off. We want to like have something to do with it. And if I was going to have a story about today, it would be that lens. That's a way more interesting lens than any other lens on this table, probably. So,
yeah, and so for me, I've been saying it since the beginning that it was going to be the Voigtlander. I was open to be proven wrong, but
You didn't see that open.
yeah, like the bokeh was great, and like just the way it rendered all the colors, the contrast.
well, congrats to Andy. Thank you all for watching our first Great Gear Off episode. We'd love to hear what your Nifty-50 is. Please tell us about it. Send us some examples if you could.
Go ahead and leave comments below. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed what you saw.
The videos of the stills that we shot, the video we shot, and the charts that we shot, and also Corey's anamorphic footage. Links to all that below. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Yeah.
This one has like a bunch of fungus and stuff in it.
Why does that get that away?
What?
It's like contagious.
Are you putting that next to your other lens? It is. Fungus is contagious?
No,
Yes.
it's not for lenses?
Yes.
Those spores are
The
everywhere.
spores, like...
Is that for real?
Yes.
I'm sure.
Where do you keep that lens?
I'm tightening my back.
I do not.
I keep it